Ranking 2026 Big Ten football schedules from easiest to toughest. Ohio State. Indiana face daunting paths. Big Ten heavyweights must overcome grueling schedules in 2026 to reach their ultimate destination. The Big Ten released its finalized 2026 football schedule Tuesday night. 14 weeks of action guaranteed to spark national interest given the league's reign atop college football following Indiana's national championship run. The Big Ten and SEC have sparred for months over future college football playoff formats, and for now, with the bracket staying at 12 teams for next season, the Big Ten holds the crown over its Southern brethren after the Hoosiers' unbeaten and historic finish. Much like the SEC, however, there's a chance the conference could cannibalize itself in 2026 given the wealth of quality programs we're expecting to see in the top 25. The SEC was behind the playoff committee's new, enhanced tool used this past season to further emphasize strength of schedule in its selection process. Record strength is what helped the SEC produce a record-setting 5 entries, a number the Big Ten will try and match in 2026. Ranking the Big Ten schedules from the easiest to toughest next season with a heavy emphasis on our way too early rankings, here's a glance at every team's difficulty metrics following Tuesday's reveal. Opponents in way too early top 25. 2. The Badgers miss Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan, and Indiana. USC is the only conference game against an opponent we're expecting to be ranked in the preseason. Also, no Big Ten team has a bigger stage opening weekend than the Badgers, who host Notre Dame at Lambeau Field. Wisconsin hasn't beaten the Fighting Irish since 1963. The two teams have played twice since, and a win would be Luke Fickell's best during an otherwise forgettable tenure up to this point. How's this for luck ahead of Matt Campbell's first season? The Nittany Lions will not have to play Indiana, Ohio State, or Oregon during conference play and get USC at Beaver Stadium. There are teams with more favorable schedules overall, sure, but Penn State has to like its chances as a potential dark horse to find a place in the top tier of the league standings relative to the talent Campbell's bringing in from the transfer portal. 3. Illinois. Opponents in way too early top 25. 2. The Fighting Illini on September 12th host Duke, the reigning ACC champions who replaced star quarterback Darian Mensah, their leading receiver, and several other departures to the portal. Win that one, and Brett Bielema's team should be unbeaten and potentially ranked when the league slate opens September 26th against Ohio State. Illinois will host Oregon for the first time since 1993 later in the season after trying to end a 7-game losing streak to the Buckeyes. Those are the only opponents ranked inside our way too early top 25. Opponents in way too early top 25. 3. Indiana, Michigan, and USC are the most challenging matchups for the Scarlet Knights, who will entertain each of those preseason top 15s at SHI Stadium in Piscataway, New Jersey. Rutgers has a favorable shot at getting off to a hot start in September against UMass, Boston College, and Howard before reality sets in for Greg Schiano's team. 5. Maryland. Opponents in way too early top 25. 3. If Mike Locksley fails to find momentum next fall, Maryland leaders may begin asking serious questions about the program's future. The good news? There's enough winnable games on the Big Ten schedule that should lead to bowl eligibility. One of the 3 ranked opponents Maryland will face, at least in our estimation, is Virginia Tech. The Terps host James Franklin's Hokies on September 19th before embarking on the conference slate, which includes road games at Ohio State, USC, and Nebraska. 6. Minnesota. Opponents in way too early top 25. 3. As long as the Golden Gophers don't stub a toe against Mississippi State in the non-conference, they should have a shot at exceeding last season's win total thanks to a manageable slate. Minnesota's 3 toughest games are Indiana, Washington, and Michigan, 2 of which come away from home. With most of their defensive 2-deep back within the front 7, the Golden Gophers could be a team to watch with this schedule. 7. Washington. Opponents in way too early top 25. 3. If the Huskies can defend their home turf and go 7-0 at home in 2026 with DeMond Williams Jr. at quarterback, they could be going to the playoff under Jedd Fisch. That would include an upset of Indiana, should it come to fruition. Road games at Oregon and USC are difficult, but other matchups away from Seattle against Michigan State, Nebraska, and Purdue should be victories. 8. UCLA. Opponents in way too early top 25, 3. Bob Chesney built these Bruins through the transfer portal, and he expects early season success against the likes of California. San Diego State and Nevada will prepare UCLA for a robust Big Ten schedule. The Bruins play Michigan in Ann Arbor and Oregon at Autzen Stadium, while getting USC at home. 9. Purdue. Opponents in way too early top 25, 3. Notre Dame has outscored Purdue 122-37 the last 2 seasons, and these teams meet again on September 19th. After that, for the Boilermakers, they'll only play 2 more ranked opponents, Indiana, Washington. And they'll get win opportunities against 3 Big Ten foes who failed to reach bowl games in 2025, Maryland, Wisconsin, and UCLA. 10. Iowa. Opponents in way too early top 25, 3. Now's the time to kick rival Iowa State down while the Hawkeyes can following Matt Campbell's departure to Penn State. Iowa hosts the Cyclones on September 12th before Big Ten play begins. The conference schedule is highlighted by games against Michigan, Washington, and Ohio State for Kirk Ferentz's group. Seesaw matchups at Minnesota and Illinois will likely determine this team's finish in 2026.